Greetings, all. I am StrawhatOtakuDrew, and I am so sorry to everyone that actually enjoys my streams. I have been so sick the last few weeks and just generally not in a good place. Still not feeling great, but I feel like I owe it to you guys to at least catch up on the manga. So we're here to do that. Yeah. And it's been so hot lately here in Oklahoma. I've it's been too hot in my room. No air conditioning in here. So I haven't been able to come out here to stream. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to normal streams after this. But I don't make any promises. I am just going to do the manga for now, catch up on the chapters that I've missed. We will catch up on the anime at another time. I'm not sure when that will be. So, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into chapter 1115. Pieces of a Continent. Well, first off, we've got our cover story going on. Looks like Yamato is visiting Hiyori and Otoko. And they're packing up bento for Yamato's trip. Okay. All right. Yeah. Nice. Good artwork. But not really anything remarkable there. So let's get to the actual chapter. Meat and potatoes. And we're starting in Wano. Wow. These assholes are back. sense. Okay, so we're not learning what caused the war. Damn. Cut the figurehead off the ship. Damn. Okay. Well, um, so contrary to what I had seen a lot of people guessing prior to this chapter, Wano, the people of Wano, at the very least, the samurai that the Straw Hats associated with while they were there, are receiving this information. I had seen a lot of people guessing that because of Wano's isolationism, this information was not reaching them, which is a fair assumption, but as we now see, an incorrect. And then we've got fucking Demalo Black and the former fake Straw Hats now dressed as the kid pirates. Wow, that was unexpected. Right? And for anyone that still had any doubts, in this chapter during the broadcast, Stella Vegapunk confirms that he did know how to read the poneglyphs, which that I think that was already pretty clear, but it hadn't been definitively stated. He might have just read translations that the scholars of Ohara had, but now he specifically says he has read from a handful of poneglyphs himself. So theoretically, because he had that knowledge, the remaining satellites of Vegapunk could also possibly have the knowledge to read the poneglyphs. So prior to forming the current world government in the wake of this war, the 20 kingdoms were known as the Alliance. Cue Star Wars music. If I'm sorry, but if the ancient kingdom is the empire, then I just don't know what to say. Checking in with more people as the broadcast continues. The Minx. Foxy. By the way, I've been considering a gag theory about Foxy. Not anything serious or that I even actually believe, just something for fun. I had thought about doing it for April Fool's Day, but I still haven't been able to edit properly, so I'm still not getting videos posted. But at some point, maybe we'll see. So, in the middle of all of this, we get a break from the broadcast, from listening to the broadcast, as Edison reaches out to Stussy. And he very reasonably points out, hey, the big bads are busting through that damn shield. You might as well drop the thing and get the hell out of there. He's not wrong. We've got at least 2 Gorosei that have entered the Labo phase in spite of the presence of the shield. At this point, just drop the damn shield and nope out. So even though Stussy was ready to sacrifice herself for the Straw Hats to escape, it looks like she may not have to. But the last shot of her there choked me up a bit. Without Stella around anymore, who do I live for? She doesn't know where to go from here. Which, in retrospect, is probably why she was so ready to sacrifice herself so the others could get away, thus fulfilling Stella's wish for them to get out. It's kind of sad. I can empathize, though. I have nothing. I don't have anyone in particular that cares. Anyways, onward. So we're over by the giant ship now, and Bonnie is warning everyone, hey, don't let him use that sword. That old man can cut anything. Bonnie managed to dodge an attack rather narrowly. The attack going on to sever the bowsprit, the figurehead of the giant's ship. And then we get the resummation of the broadcast, and the cell is explaining that the Void Century ended with the defeat of Joy Boy. Now, any of y'all who have watched the actual videos I've posted might be thinking that all of this new information contradicts my first theory about Luffy being Joy Boy, that at some point in the penultimate arc of the series, he is going to end up transported back to the Void Century and will be the actual Joy Boy. I don't think this does. Remember, we are just reading from a translation here. So where this translation said that Joy Boy was born into a kingdom that was highly advanced, the context of that accounts for the possibility that instead of actually born, it could be that he entered the world. There have been errors in the translation before that caused problems with later revelations. I would really like to hear from Dawn Dusk on this one. They are an English language One Piece channel run by a native Japanese speaker. And they give amazing context on exactly this kind of thing, nuances of the Japanese language where things may not be exactly as they end up translated in the official or fan translations. Dawn Dusk is amazing. If you have not checked them out, please do. I love that channel. One of my favorite One Piece YouTubers. And I definitely would love to hear from them on that. Dawn Dusk, if you do see this somehow, which I'm sure you have better things to do, so you're probably not seeing it. But if you do, in the chapter where it talked about Joy Boy being born into the ancient kingdom, is there any nuance in the Japanese, in the original language, that allows for that to not be a literal physical birth, as in a mother popping out a child? Could it be construed as he entered the world or he appeared in the world? Is that possible? Because if that's possible, my theory of Luffy getting sent back to the Void Century still is a very real possibility. Until I hear something that definitively makes that impossible, I still believe that is what is coming. Anyways, moving on. So, Seraphim get dropped out of the Labo phase when Venus Juro cuts the bottom part of the Labo phase away. And we get the revelation that the world of the Void Century, there were 200 meters more land above the seas. That's a lot. That is a lot. 200 meters. I mean, come on now. Sorry. That explains all of the undersea ruins and everything that we've seen in cover stories and whatnot. eyes itch. Checking in with various places. We see Shimotsuki Village, Sakura Kingdom. Water 7. At least I'm guessing that's Water 7 because we see someone wearing a Galley Law shirt or jacket. And aboard Big News Morgan's blimp, Vivi shushing Morgan's. Shut the hell up, I'm listening to this. And on the broadcast, Vegapunk goes on to tell us and the One Piece world that the 200-meter rise in sea level was caused by the ancient weapons. Low key confirming that the recent destruction of Nadusia was an ancient weapon. And we get a brief single panel reaction shot from Eam, who, well, I mean, for the most part, the panels of Eam have not been that emotionally expressive, but I'm kind of getting pissed off vibes from this panel. So we shall see. The bigger question is sea level rose 200 meters during the Void Century. Sea level rose 1 meter with the destruction of Nadusia Kingdom. We only know of one other location akin to what we see after the destruction of Nadusia Kingdom. That, of course, being NES Lobby. I have no doubt in my mind that NES Lobby is the result of something during the Void Century. Something involving the same thing that destroyed Nadusia. I actually, if I am ever able to do my Arc Theory series, I have that entire scenario in my head already of exactly how NES Lobby ends up that way, right down to why there's still a piece of land intact. and all of that. So we shall see. Hopefully, I'll work it out so I can do my arc theory series, because I really want to present that. But I'm not going into that here. So yeah, we've got this. This is definitely a lore chapter more than an action chapter. But I'm perfectly fine with that. I like the lore. The lore is what's kept me interested in this series for 1115 chapters. If it was all action, I would have just brushed this off by now. I want this immersive world building. So bring it on, Oda Sensei. Good job. I love it. Let's move on to 1116, which after that chapter, I'm thinking my prediction might be wrong about 1116 being the beginning of the Elbaf arc. Because while we are close to leaving Egghead Island, I don't think we're close enough to actually make it to Elbaf in the next chapter. But I can admit when I am wrong. I am not dying on the hill of the raid is going to fail. The raid is not going to fail. The raid is not going to fail, and we're apparently not going to reach Elbaf in the next chapter. I can admit when I'm wrong. So, chapter 1116, Inner Conflict. Okay. We have Otsuru giving Yamato medicine and dumplings. Okay. Nice. Nice artwork. Nothing particularly remarkable. Okay. Past cover stories have always, each one has either given us something to laugh at or given a piece of information that's been like, oh, okay, I understand that. I get that. I see that adds something to the world. This is just kind of there. So far, I have hopes that this cover story will lead to developments in the world. New information and or lore about Wano. Maybe, as a lot of people are guessing, Blackbeard will show up looking for Pluton, having gotten the information from Swamp in a Barrel that Pluton is under Wano. So I'm not dismissing this cover series. Don't think that. It's just that thus far it is unremarkable. So I am not dismissing it, but I am not crazy about it either thus far with the few installments we've had, if that makes sense. Um, but I have hope for it. Don't let me down, Oda Sensei. I believe in you. One writer to another, I believe in you. All right, so on to the chapter itself. Okay. Well, that was a short chapter, but holy shit. So, we start with more general reactions as Vegapunk continues the broadcast explaining about the Void Century, the ancient weapons, yada, yada, yada. We get an eyeball shot of Eam that is still giving me a pissed off vibe. Then we specifically hone in on Alabasta. As Vegapunk goes on to explain about the creation of the Mother Flame, how a piece of the Mother Flame was stolen. And then we cut back to the conversation between Stussy and Edison. Edison still telling Stussy to nope the hell out of there. Stussy asking if she can free Kaku because she wants to save his life. Edison ultimately tells her to follow her heart, but do whatever it takes to survive, and she promises she will. So I suspect we will see Kaku freed. And considering he has just heard all of this, Vegapunk's transmission, but mostly these deep personal feelings from Stussy. I don't think he's going to be a problem anymore. I don't think he's going to join the Straw Hats or even particularly be on their side. It's more, I think he is going to be on Stussy's side. So wherever she goes, whatever she does, he is going to have her back. Meaning, if she continues to support the Straw Hats, if she, say, joins the Grand Fleet, he will be right there with her, is my thought. Meanwhile, Vegapunk goes on to reveal the destruction of Nadusia to the world. And explains that only the Mother Flame that he created could have produced that much energy. And that it was used to power and activate an ancient weapon. So, last chapter, I was talking about it low-key confirmed that an ancient weapon was used to destroy Edeusia. But this chapter, it blatantly confirmed it. The flame that I created was used to activate an ancient weapon. Period. Final. It definitive. Barring translation errors. So, yeah. It is now definitively confirmed for us that Eam is in control of Uranus. Because we know Eam is not in control of Pluton, and we know Eam is not in control of Poseidon. Uranus is all that's left. The flame that I created was used to activate an ancient weapon. In other words, the flame Vegapunk created powered an ancient weapon that was being controlled by Eam. I.e., Eam is controlling Uranus. Definitively confirmed. There is zero question left to it. The only questions now is how Eam got a hold of Uranus and what he's going to do with it next. Which, that after that pissed off eyeball, I'm wondering if next is going to be sending it to Egghead. Shite, it might already be en route to Egghead. Right. This also confirms for us that Vegapunk is not aware of Eam's existence, as I previously suspected several chapters ago. It always seemed to me that Vegapunk consistently dealt with the Gorosei and specifically with Saturn. The Gorosei are very tight-lipped. Ergo, Saturn would not have revealed Eam's existence to Vegapunk. There was always the off chance that at some point Vegapunk was approached directly by Eam for something. But why would he do that? It makes no sense. He send his lackey, send Saturn. There's no reason to reveal himself. So, yeah. We check in at Wano again. And see a brief conversation between Momonosuke and Kinemon about Pluton. We don't see Momo's whole sentence. What does that mean? Pluton is, and Kinemon shuts him down, interrupts him. Hush, Lord Momonosuke. So, where was he going with that? Does that mean Pluton is capable of this as well? Does that mean Pluton is going to flood the world? Does that mean Pluton is no longer under Wano and is responsible for this? And there are all sorts of directions that sentence could have gone. But at the moment, we don't know what Momonosuke's thought process was there. Brief shot of Crocodile listening. As Vegapunk explains that there were 3 ancient weapons. Because, of course, why not? We first learned of the ancient weapons as a result of Crocodile's actions in trying to find Pluton beneath Alabasta. So, yeah, when the ancient weapons existence is revealed to the public, having a shot of Crocodile specifically listening to it is a nice little callback. We don't even see the rest of Cross Guild. We just see Crocodile, just his face, right up in his face. Fishman Island, we see Shirahoshi, and she looks concerned, which, honestly, out of all the people that it's shown, she has the least reason to be concerned. World floods, okay, and she's a fish person. She can breathe in the water. She's fine. Her kingdom is fine. The merfolk and the fish people. She's a mermaid. Her family are merfolk. Her kingdom is made up of merfolk and fish people. They live at the bottom of the ocean, 10,000 meters down, if I remember correctly, directly below the home of the Tenryubito. So if the world government goes apeshit and wipes out everything, they still going to be safe. If the world government goes bonkers and uses this ancient weapon that Vegapunk is talking about to wipe out every other kingdom in the world, Fishman Island is still going to be safe. Unless or until the world government are ready to wipe out their own home in the name of taking out the place located under it. Now, granted, they could load up a shitload of soldiers and send them down there on coated marine battleships and whatnot and take the place by force manually. They could do that, yes. But this shit Vegapunk's talking about ain't having no effect on Fishman Island and its people. They are the one place in the world, with the possible exception of the Sky Islands, that have nothing to worry about. The Sky Islands would have to worry before they do. If it depends. If the world is truly sinking, as Vegapunk says, then the Sky Islands have nothing to worry about. If it's that sea level is rising, then even the Sky Islands need to worry at some point, because repeated use of the ancient weapon going up a meter at a time, eventually that's going to be up to where the Sky Islands are. Granted, you would have to use it a lot. So that's another thing I want to know from Dawn Dusk. When Vegapunk said that the world is sinking, when we got that in the English translation, is that what Vegapunk really said? Did he say the world is sinking, as in the land is going down into the water, or could it be interpreted as sea level is rising, which is something our own world is facing? Very slow, not at this rate, where we don't have some sociopath out there with an ancient weapon that is destroying entire islands at a time and causing the oceans to go up a meter with each use of the weapon, but it's still gradually increasing. It's like a centimeter a year or some shit like that. I don't remember. I've seen the data before. I just don't recall. But yeah, it's because those are two very different things with two very different implications. If the world is sinking, if all of the land is sinking, then that implies the use of the ancient weapons is making the ground unstable, so it settles further, or something akin to that. Maybe ish. I don't know. Honestly, looking at Aeneas Lobby and Nerusia, that hole goes as far as the eye can see. Now, I've heard people talk about maybe it goes all the way through the planet, comes out the other side with a corresponding hole, so it creates something like knock up current from the water that's pouring in on the opposite side, which could be interesting. I mean, all of that water pouring in at Aeneas Lobby, and it's not necessarily a hole going straight through, coming out the exact opposite side of the globe. It could be at an oblique enough angle. Maybe the hole at Aeneas Lobby, instead of going straight through and coming out the opposite side, maybe that hole goes through at an oblique angle and comes out. Maybe that's what feeds the knock-up stream at Jaya. Maybe. Could be. There's just no telling. Or maybe it doesn't go all the way through, but it collects under the crust of the planet. Water ends up heated by the thermal activity, the geothermal activity inside the planet, in the core. With that collecting under the crust, that would build up pressure, and that maybe it collects in a reservoir that expands under Jaya, or the ocean near Jaya now. And that is the source of the knock-up stream. That actually seems kind of reasonable. It really does. If Uranus blasted through the crust but not through the core, the water pouring in collects in a reservoir beneath the crust, very large reservoir beneath the crust, and is heated by the core, building and building pressure. And then when that pressure finally reaches a certain point, it bursts through as a knock-up stream. That makes sense. And if you think about that, the knock-up stream then empties that reservoir, so the intake at the hole, Reducia or NES Lobby or any other hypothetical location where this has happened, that intake can keep going, hence the hole never filling, because the knock-up stream happens to void what has been collected in the reservoir. So there's always more room. Holy shit, I think I just figured out how the fucking knock-up stream works. Wow. Okay. I really feel like I just figured out how the knock-up stream works. So yeah. Anyways, that was a major digression, even if I did put the pieces together for a major revelation. So yeah, Vegapunk reveals to the world that there are 3 ancient weapons. Thankfully, he does not tell the world where they are, even if he is aware. He probably not aware. He definitely not aware of Pluton being under Wano. because even the average people of Wano weren't aware of that. The only way he could have that information is if someone else among Joy Boy's Nakama had that information as well and passed it down. I don't know. I mean, let's say, all right, Nefertari Lily. We know she was a D. Let's say hypothetically that she was among Joy Boy's Nakama. She might be aware of the disposition of the ancient weapons after the war. So she could have handed that information down. Possibly within her family, although, well, Cobra was pretty adamant that Pluton was not in Arabasta. That could have just been trying to get Crocodile to leave his kingdom the fuck alone. But it also could be that he actually knew. We don't know for sure either way. And with Cobra dead, we probably ain't going to find out unless we find out the back way. As in, we find out because we get the information about Lily and that it was handed down throughout her family. I feel confident either way that Vivi does not know. If her father did know, he had not yet given her that information. Although, after Crocodile's shenaniganry, he might have, in the interim, during time skip or whatever, since the Alabasta arc, at the very least, before he was killed. So Vivi might know now. Maybe. But that is a possibility. And honestly, that would answer some questions. Think about it. If the ruler of Arabasta knows the location of Pluton and someone hears about that, think of it like a game of telephone. Over 800 years. An 800-year-long game of telephone. Starting with one person whispering, the ruler of Alabasta knows where the ancient weapon Pluton is. Now, over 800 years of that being whispered from one person to another, is it that unthinkable for that to have turned into the ancient weapon Pluton is located in Alabasta? Not at all. Not at all. So that, by the time that game of telephone ended with Crocodile, the information being conveyed was still about a connection between the kingdom of Arabasta and the ancient weapon Pluton. But instead of it just being they know where it is, it changes to it's there. That's actually very realistic. So think about that. Nefertari D. Lilly knew the location of Pluton. And passed it down through her line parent to child throughout the generations all the way down to Cobra. All of the rulers of Alabasta have known that Pluton was under the land of Wana. That's a very real possibility. That makes so much sense. So, yeah. So, anyways, Vegapunk tells us that a day is coming when all of the answers will be known. But he warns that the moment that's going to happen is when the world is right at the edge about to drown. So then he goes on to tell that Roger's crew knew about this. They learned the truth. As we all suspected. But this confirms it. Then we cut to York losing her shit because she doesn't understand how Vegapunk figured all this out. Which really, it's not a big leap. He knew how powerful his creation was, the Mother Flame. He knew all this information from the Poneglyph. Knew about the ancient weapons and what they were capable of. It's not a big leap to do the math and put the pieces together. A plus B equals C. knowledge of ancient weapons. I created thing with immense power. Thing with immense power was used to power ancient weapon. Not rocket science. And he didn't say that one of his satellites did it. York was not mentioned. So her getting all about, but you were shocked when you found out I did this. Okay, yeah. He was shocked when he found out you did this. He wasn't shocked that it happened. He had already done the math and figured that shit out. So all of her talk about the timeline doesn't add up. Yeah, it does. He didn't know all of the details, but he knew it happened. But then she puts pieces together and tells the Gorosei that the transmitting Dendenmushi is inside the Iron Giant. They're under protection of the Iron Giant, which that's kind of funny because a few weeks back, I was watching Tekking. I was watching a video from Tekking, and he was talking about he made a joke about the Iron Giant. I forget what it was, but he oh no, actually he might have just jokingly suggested that the Dendenmushi was inside the Iron Giant. And I thought about it then. Think about this, everybody. Think about this. And I said this in a comment on that video of Tekkings also. But think about it. The very first time we saw Stella Vegapunk, where was he? He was halfway inside the fucking Iron Giant. As a result of using teleportation technology that we have not seen or heard spoken of again since. Now, what if? Think about it, consider it. Vegapunk knew about the destruction of I can't talk. Vegapunk knew Rhodesia was destroyed. That's confirmed because he talked about it in his transmission here. He did all the math since then, figured out about the earthquakes and sea level going up or land sinking, whichever. Again, Dawn Dusk, please help me clarify on that from the original language perspective. But so, yeah, Vegapunk knows about Odysseus, did the math, figured out all that shit. And these cypherpole people have been showing up periodically for a while. He didn't know that they were all getting locked up inside his base, but or at least I don't think he knew about that part. I don't remember about that. But they knew that various cypherpole agents were coming repeatedly. So he knew shit was coming to a head. And we know that it was recently that he put this together, since the destruction of Odysseus. So what if Vegapunk was using that teleportation technology specifically to hide the transmission Dendemushi inside the Iron Giant, and in the process of doing so, got his own ass stuck halfway into it? When Tekking jokingly suggested that the Dendemushi could be inside the Iron Giant, I made that response also in jest for the most part. I was still of the mind that that what was going on was that there were actually multiple transmission snails, that it wasn't, that was at the point when I was thinking that it wasn't one special Dendemushi, but it was in fact being broadcast from every Dendemushi on Egghead Island. So I didn't really take it seriously at that point. I thought, okay, maybe there is a Dendemushi hidden inside there, but at that point, I had not yet accepted that there was a special one. And I'm still not 100% convinced there is a special one. So we'll see. There probably is, but I'm not 100% there. I still could be right that the whole thing of a special Dendemushi is a ruse to send the Gorosei on a wild goose chase around the damned island. So I don't know, but it's seeming more likely that there actually is a special Dendemushi somewhere. And I, now that I have come to accept that, especially with this panel where York is telling the Gorosei the transmission transponder snail is under the protection of the Iron Giant in the Fabrio phase. That what both Tekking and I previously suggested in jest now could actually be very real. So yeah, then we end the chapter cutting to Rayleigh grumbling about Vegapunk telling everybody too much. half drunk, not more than half drunk, completely blitzed Rayleigh, half conscious, grumbling about you telling him too much, Doc. So, yeah. Um, all right, so I was wrong, and I am able to admit it. The raid failed. I mean, Elbaf Art did not start in 1116. Or the raid didn't fail. I mean, the raid did not fail. All right, so 1117 is not up yet. According to the official website, new chapter coming in 2 days. I make no promises that I will be able to stream it at that point. I will try. We shall see. But for now, we've got some good lore. We've got good information. And I am caught up on the manga for now. So I'm going to wrap it up and leave it at that for tonight. And I will stream again when I am able. I would like to come on and do the anime episodes tomorrow night, and then get back to doing the new reaction every week. But I can't promise that right now. I'm still feeling off. And it's still stupidly hot. I do not have a window to plug a window air conditioning unit into or to use to vent a portable air conditioning unit. But someone did get me a portable air conditioning unit. I have sitting in the door over here blowing out this way. So it's not entirely effective, but it makes a hell of a difference. So down to 75 in here, which the coolest that it has been in this room in the last 3 weeks has been 86. So it's making a notable difference. It's still a little warmer than is comfortable to me. 70 is comfortable. 75 is a little uncomfortable, but it's not intolerable like 86. And like I said, 86 is the coolest it has been out here for 3 weeks. On average, this room has been 90 to 96. So, yeah. As long as that thing can maintain, I start feeling her, I'll be able to get back to my regular streams. In the meantime, I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. I have not watched the new anime episodes since the last that I reacted to. I've been watching other stuff. I've been binging my way through NCIS. I've been rereading my favorite manga series of all time, Sazan Eyes, 3x3 Eyes, 3 times 3 Eyes, however the hell you want to read it. I love that series. I have just recently found out that there are 2 sequel series to the original Sazan Eyes, which thrills me, but simultaneously pisses me off, because it thrills me because, damn it, Sazan Eyes is my favorite manga of all time. I love this series. I love it more than One Piece. I love it more than Detective Conan. It is an amazing series, a beautiful artwork, amazing, gripping story. Some of the best character development I have ever seen in a manga. It's just that good. So, yeah, that's why I am thrilled, having learned that there are 2 sequel series to it. The part that pisses me off is that while all 577 chapters of the original Sazan Eyes have fan translations, out of the sequel series, which apparently, I don't know the number of chapters, but apparently between the 2 sequel series, there are 11 volumes compared to 40 volumes of the original series. But apparently, out of those 11 volumes, that is both sequel series, only 1 chapter has been translated. 1 chapter. The first chapter of the first sequel is all that has been translated of the Sazan Eyes sequels. That's why I'm pissed, knowing that there's 11 volumes of Sazan Eyes out there that I ain't going to be able to read. Y'all help me out here. Dawn Dusk, you're a translator. You want to go translate the Sazan Eyes sequel series for me, please? Somebody? Please? Damn it. Or better yet, y'all hit me up. Let's get Sazan Eyes translated officially. I might actually start a Kickstarter for this, damn it. I don't know. But let's get the money together. I will buy the rights to Sazan Eyes. If I can get the money, I am buying the rights to Sazan Eyes. And I will pay someone to do a proper official translation, all 40 volumes of the original, all 11 volumes of the sequels. And word is that Takada Sensei is working on another sequel that will start at some point soon. This either 2024 or 2025, from what I saw. Y'all get me the money, and I will get the rights to Sazan Eyes, and I will have it translated officially and get it out there for y'all. Let's do this. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know how much money I'll need for that. Dawn Dusk, you're a translator. How much would you charge per volume or per chapter or whatever to translate Sazan Eyes? Completely new translation. All 40 volumes of the original, all 11 volumes of the sequels, and then ongoing whenever Takada Sensei starts the next sequel. How much would you charge for that? So let's make this happen. Come on. This is an amazing series. It has every bit as much lore and mythology as One Piece. All the characters and world building and just everything. If you love One Piece, you'll love Sazan Eyes. Sazan Eyes is a bit darker than One Piece usually is, but it still has its levity. So let's make this happen. I'm dead serious. I am dead ass serious on this. Get me the money. I will consult with a copyright attorney, find out how much it will take to acquire the rights to Sazan Eyes. And at that point, once I know how much I'm looking at for the rights and how much I'm looking at for translation, once I have numbers for all of that, I will actually start a Kickstarter. So, but I first am going to need money to consult with a copyright attorney. So, y'all help me out there. Help me out there. Help me pull together the money for a copyright attorney so I can get that information. And then when I have the numbers, I will start an official campaign to buy the rights and translate Sazan Eyes officially. And also, when I acquire the rights, I am going to do it in a way that, in addition to just translating the manga, I am going to do novelizations. I'm thinking maybe a tabletop RPG book, because there is a lot in Sazan Eyes that would work really well with that. I don't know. I've got things outside of just the manga translation planned, if I can get the rights. So, because the last I knew of, Dark Horse had the rights, and they ain't done shit with it since they did 8 volumes back in 2002. So, yeah, it Let's do this, folks. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. Not just for me, not just for all of the current fans of Saws on Eyes that are out there, but for all of the people out there that have never heard of it, who would love this series. Come on. Get my back. Hit up my Patreon. Let's get me enough to talk to a copyright attorney. I don't know even how much that's going to take. $1,000, a couple $1,000. Let's guess, I don't know, $2,000, $2,500. I don't know. Let's start with that, and when I've got that, I can reach out to a copyright attorney and talk to them, find out at least how much it's going to take for them to look into this. So, yeah. Let's do this. It's been way too long. The original run of Saws on Eyes ended more than 20 years ago. 40 volumes, 577 chapters. English readers have officially only gotten 8 volumes. Snowy, what are you doing? Hello. Hello, Snowy. So, yeah, we have only officially gotten 8 volumes. And on top of getting an official translation for the entire series, this could actually do even more for fans because a resurgence in popularity via a new translation and new peripheral materials that I want to release. This could increase interest in the series in general, and maybe, just maybe, an anime, a proper anime, not just OVA series, could be produced. Because all the anime we've got of Saws on Eyes right now is the original 4-episode OVA from the late 80s, I think. And then follow-up Seima Densetsu OVA, which is 3 episodes. And that the 2 OVAs together cover the same thing that we got in what Dark Horse translated. With maybe, if I remember correctly, I think the end of Dark Horse's Volume 8 started the next story, but didn't finish it. So the Dark Horse manga goes a little bit further than what the OVAs did, but not really enough to count. So yeah. So it's long overdue. Let's make this happen, folks, please. For me, for you, for other fans, for everybody. Let's do this. Anyways, I have got to get off of here. My head feels like it's going to explode. I am going to watch some more of another anime that I've gotten into in the last few days. I heard about this series called Uzaki-chan, which I binged the manga over the last 3 days, and I love it. It's hilarious. I love these characters. It's not One Piece. It's not adventure or any of that. It's just a little slice of life romantic comedy. 112 chapters, I think, with a handful of omake chapters throughout. And it's just great. The characters are fun and believable, and they have realistic character growth and development of the relationships and everything. This series is just a good read. So while y'all waiting for me, go check out Uzaki-chan. And definitely go check out Sazan Eyes. Go read some of the fan translations. Go find the Dark Horse manga of the first 8 volumes. Or don't go find the Dark Horse ones, because if there's suddenly a major burst of people buying their old ones, buying or ordering their old ones, they might actually start translating it themselves. And I kind of want to do it now. I kind of want to be the driving force. I want to do the novelizations. I want to do the peripheral materials, the RPG, and other things that I have in mind that I don't want to let the cat out of the bag until I can definitely make them happen. Good stuff. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, I want to do this. I'm dead serious about this. I want to do this. This is going to be fun. So, yeah. So go read the fan translations of Sazan Eyes. Go read Uzaki-chan. Go check out the anime of Uzaki-chan. It's on Crunchyroll. I can't tell you where the hell to watch the OVAs of Sazan Eyes, because the DVDs are out of print. I don't think it's been released on Blu-ray. At least in the US, they're out of print. Maybe in Europe. Actually, yeah, you can find European DVD of it, because I went looking about a few months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, right around the time I started rereading the series. I'm at the point I have 50 chapters left, and I'm procrastinating now because I know I'm going to be pissed when I finish, because I am aware that there's 11 more volumes that I'm not able to read. So I'm procrastinating. That's why I just binged through 112 chapters of Uzaki-chan. That's why I'm reading through the manga of this new anime series I've been watching on Crunchyroll. What is it? Chilling in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers or something to that effect. I love the series. It's fun. It's got great characters, good story, and all that. I love it. That's why I'm reading um, Delicious in Dungeon, even though I've been watching the anime on Netflix. With most series, I will either read the manga or watch the anime. I don't generally do both. But these three I'm enjoying enough that I am doing both. They're that good. So yeah, I'm procrastinating on finishing reading Sazanais. I've got all this other stuff I'm watching. And of course, like I said, I've been binging through NCIS. I am in the middle of season 12 now, I think, out of 21. So, yeah, I'm going to get off of here, go watch a couple episodes of Uzaki chan, and then probably do more NCIS. In the meantime, hope y'all are doing better than I am. And I hope that I'll be able to stream again soon for you. And until then, y'all take it easy. And I hope I'll see you in the comments. One Piece Oni. Ore wa naru.